All rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The Blount County Legislative Body is now in session with the Honorable Jerome Moon, Chairman, presiding. All persons having business with this Honorable Commission, draw near, give attention, and you shall be heard. God save the United States of America, the great state of Tennessee, and this Honorable Commission. At this time, Boy Scout Troop 442 will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag.
Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Present the colors. Salute. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, reform. Color guard, retire.
Thank you all. Y'all may be seated. I'd like to welcome everyone to the February 2017 regular session of the Blount County Board of Commissioners. At this time, if you would please give your attention to the emergency evacuation procedures.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
This time, the commission will come to order. All members who aren't signed in, who are present, if you'll please sign in at this time.
Mr. Chairman, you have 20 members present. Commissioner Cole is absent.
20 present, 1 absent. We do have a quorum. This time, the chair will stand for a motion to set the agenda.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Bennett, you're recognized.
As a sponsor of item F2H, I'd like to request that that item be removed from tonight's agenda.
Mr. Bennett requests that F2H be removed. Is there objection to removing this item? Hearing no objection, so ordered. The motion is to set. Is there a second to setting agenda? Commissioner Carver seconds. Is that correct?
Correct.
Motion is to set tonight's agenda as published with the removal of item F2H. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of setting the agenda, vote yes. If you're opposed, set no. Has everyone voted?
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes.
20 yes votes, 1 absent. The agenda is set as published with the item F2H removed. The next item of business is item B, the consent calendar. The chair will stand for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Carter moves. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Bennett seconds. The motion is to approve the consent calendar. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the consent calendar. Vote no not to approve the consent calendar. Has everyone voted?
Mr. Chairman, there are 18 yes votes and 2 no votes.
18 yes, 2 no. The consent calendar is approved.
At this time, the chair recognizes Chairman Pro Tem Samples and Commissioner Mike Kaler for a presentation.
Test. Okay. Come on up, Mayor. There we go. As many of you will recall, and y'all come on up, Representative Ramsey, back in June of 2009, there was ultimate tragedy took place in the loss of a young man, Tanner Lee Jameson. But that, excuse me, that resulted in the whole state getting involved to try to see that this type of tragedy doesn't happen again. And because of Tanner's mom and Representative Ramsey, and I'll let you all introduce yourselves here in a second. We now have a state law that requires AEDs. Is that correct, Representative? I'll let you speak here in a second. Working on that part, AEDs in all schools. Mayor, I know that you were a personal friend of the family. I'm going to let you.
What this law that is proposed does is it puts AEDs into the school systems, into the gymnasiums of all the school systems in the state of Tennessee. And what that does is and I can speak with my colleague here, Commissioner Kaler, the AED is a defibrillator. And if a child, young adult, or adult is in AFib, having a heart attack, the AED can shock the heart back into rhythm and can save their lives, and will save their lives, and does save their lives of a lot of people in this state and in this country every day. Representative Ramsey has worked very hard, but I don't think anyone has worked any harder than Rhonda Harrell, who was Tanner's mom. She has absolutely given her entire life since Tanner's death to making sure that no mother or father has to live through the tragedy of losing their child. And then the years to come, when this all comes to pass, I can say without any doubt in my mind, and this is from my former life in the fire service and EMS, there will be hundreds or thousands of lives, young lives, saved because of her effort. And it may not be, that doesn't bring Tanner back, and it doesn't mend what hurts in her heart, but it's given her a cause and a reason to go on. And there's going to be a lot of people in this state that are going to be, lives that are going to be saved because of that. Bob, you want to say?
Just briefly, I'm here. Sorry that Senator Overby and Representative Swan couldn't be here. They were an integral part of this legislation, and I want to say it's been a long road, but it's been punctuated with many lives that have been saved since Rhonda started the process. The initiative that she started shows her passion, her courage. She's overcome so much. We appreciate the leadership of the mayor and the process and the county commission. So I find it easy to work and be inspired by this courageous lady, and her whole family have been behind her. And there's more to do, and she is not she's not flagging at all in her passion and her courage. So thank you so much for the people of Tennessee.
At this time, I'm going to attempt to read this proclamation. I will say this is very difficult for me. Tanner as a young man, spent many nights and many days in my home. As one of the best friends of my youngest son, him and Cameron, they pretty much went everywhere together. And it just so happened by fate that my son was not with them on this tragic day. Whereas on June 26, 2009, 13-year-old Tanner Lee Jameson collapsed during a youth basketball game at Eagleton Middle School. And although valiant attempts were made above and beyond the call of duty to revive Tanner, he passed away due to cardiac arrhythmia. And whereas since that time, Tanner's mother, Rhonda Harrell, has worked tirelessly, making it her mission to save lives by raising the awareness concerning the accessibility of automatic external defibrillators on school property, as well as the importance of training of staff in case of emergency. And whereas many have supported the efforts of Rhonda Harrell, including State Representative Bob Ramsey, by his dedication and attendance to numerous events for raising awareness, and with the assistance of State Senator Doug Overby and State Representative Art Swan, giving support of the public acts passed at the General Assembly in 2010 and 2016, along with the others giving support, which include Hepperly's Auto Sales by matching dollar for dollar for the purchase of many AEDs, Chris and Angie Ritchie for their financial support and public announcements, as well as CPR Choice for their assistance in purchasing AEDs and providing CPR and AED training for over 11,000 certified in the state of Tennessee. And whereas an expansion of the Tanner Lee Jameson Act was signed into law by Governor Bill Haslam in June 2016 and was introduced for federal legislation by U.S. Representative John J. Duncan, Jr. in September 2016, requiring public schools that have at least one AED to train all school personnel on the AED, which would include AED training with CPR instructions for students in junior and senior high schools, as well as holding annual CPR and AED drills. And whereas the strides that have been made by those that have given their dedication and efforts inspired by the death of Tanner Lee Jameson, by raising awareness, purchasing AEDs, providing training, and the passing of the Tennessee General Assembly of the Tanner Lee Jameson Act, have saved many lives and may save many future lives. Now therefore, we, the Blount County Board of Commission, and me, Mayor Ed Mitchell, do hereby give honor, recognition, and sincere thanks to State Representative Bob Ramsey, State Senator Doug Overby, State Representative Art Swan, Hepperly Auto Sales, Chris and Angie Ritchie, CPR Choice, and above all, Rhonda Harrell, for their support of the Tanner Lee Jameson Act and their outstanding endeavors in helping to save lives. And we ask all Blount County citizens to join us in applauding their efforts. Thank you very much.
Next item of business is item C, public input on items on tonight's agenda. Does anyone wish to address the Board of Commissioners on any item on tonight's agenda? Seeing no hands, the next item of business is item D1. The chair will stand for a motion on item D1 to appoint Mark Frederick to the Veterans Affairs Committee representing AMVETS Post 22. Commissioner Carver moves and Commissioner French seconds. The motion is to adopt Mark Frederick to the Veterans Affairs Committee representing AMVETS Post 22. Commissioner French, do you wish to speak?
Mr. Chairman, yes, I would just like to ask if Mr. Frederick is here tonight. If he is, I'd like for him to stand so we could recognize him. Please. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, the motion is to appoint Mark Frederick to the Veterans Affairs Committee representing AMVETS Post 22. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of the appointment, vote yes. If you're opposed to the appointment, vote no. Has everyone voted?
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes.
20 yes votes, the motion carries and the appointment is made. There is no business under item E. The next item of business is item F1A. The chair will stand for motion on item F1A to adopt resolutions, approve requests for budget modifications for medical premiums for General County, Blount County Highway Department, Blount County Library, and Blount County Schools. Commissioner Bennett, you're recognized.
I'd like to move these resolutions and requests for all of these budget the modifications for the medical premiums for the general fund, the highway fund, the library fund, and the school fund.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Bennett. Is there a second? Push your motion button, Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kaler, if you'll withdraw as the mover. Now, there we go. Motion is made by Commissioner Bennett, seconded by Commissioner Kaler to adopt resolutions and approve requests for budget modifications for General County, Blount County Highway Department, Blount County Library, Blount County Schools as set forth in agenda item F1A. Commissioner Bennett, do you seek the floor?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make one amendment to this. Under the library resolution, which is 17-02-004. I believe there's a typo on that document.
Okay, go ahead.
On the resolution where it lists estimated revenue is $4,969.50 and appropriation is $4,968.50. I just think that's a typo. We need to address that to make sure this is correct in our resolution.
So.
I would offer that as an amendment to the motion.
State your amendment, sir.
My amendment is to modify the appropriation under the resolution 17-02-004 to make the total $4,969.50.
So you're going to strike 8 and insert 9?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to amend to strike on the appropriations total line, strike the digit 8 and insert 9 to make it read $4,969.50. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman, and if you'd like my glasses at some point, I'd be happy to let you borrow them.
Please press your motion button.
There you go.
Commissioner Bennett moves to amend. Is there a second? Commissioner Samples seconded. He came in a second. The pending motion is to amend Resolution 17-02-004 by striking 8, insert 9. Discussion on the motion to amend. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of the amendment, vote yes. If you're opposed to the amendment, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes.
20 yes votes, the amendment passes. Now the pending motion is to adopt the original motion to approve the request for budget modifications for medical premiums for General County Highway, Library, and Schools as set forth under item F1A as amended. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. Just a moment. Commissioner Monroe, you seek the floor for what purpose?
I have a couple of questions.
As to, okay, state.
Okay. There's a reference in the memo of next year there will be, assuming a 10% increase. I wanted to know if there was any percent increase budgeted this year, or if this is the total amount.
Mr. Vineyard, did you understand the question, sir?
I think so. This amount takes into consideration any of the increases. This is just redistributing it so the department budgets can reflect the right rates and the right number of people.
Okay, and do you know approximately what percentage that is?
We budgeted for 10%.
Okay, and how did you base that 10%?
On claims.
So they're increasing about 10%?
We used the estimates from our broker.
Okay, thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to adopt item F1A as amended. Are the members ready to vote? If you're in favor, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted?
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes. Commissioner Cole snuck in.
Welcome, Commissioner Cole. 21 yes votes. The motion carries. The resolutions are adopted and the requests are approved as amended. The next item of business is F2A. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2A to approve a budget transfer Blount County Schools in the amount of $41,500 for software registration. State the motion, sir. To approve the budget transfer. We have a motion by Commissioner French and second by Commissioner Bowers to approve the budget transfer for Blount County Schools in the amount of $41,500. Discussion. Are the members ready for the question? Vote yes to approve the budget transfer. Vote no not to approve the budget transfer.
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes and 1 no vote.
20 yes, 1 no. The motion carries. The transfer is approved. The next item of business is item F2B. Excuse me. Yes, F2B. Chair will stand for motion on item F2B, Resolution 1702008, to amend the general county budget by $12,000. Is there a motion? Commissioner Bowers makes a motion to adopt the resolution. Second. And second by Commissioner Bowers. Press your motion button, please. Okay. Commissioner Carver seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1702008. It's the Health Department grant. Commissioner Monroe, you are recognized.
I'm sorry, this is, let's see.
Agenda item 2B.
Yes, let me, just 1 second, let me. 219, 1 second.
It's to appropriate funds received from grants.
Okay.
Health
I have
Department.
a question, and I had page 475 from the packet, but it's page 8, I believe, on the grant, under D19. It says in paragraph 3, when a federal single audit is required, the audit shall be performed in accordance with U.S. Office of Management and Budget's uniform administrative requirements, cost principles, and audit requirements for federal awards. Was just wondering, is a federal audit required for this grant?
Mr. Vineyard, you're recognized.
The state of Tennessee audits the county's books. That would include all the grants, whether they come from the state or the feds, and they have a single audit guideline, and all of those are filed as such with the feds. So there is not a separate federal audit done.
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Okay, so would that audit satisfy what the feds would potentially request, where it says when a federal single audit is required? Is that performed by the state?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1702-008. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adopting this resolution, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Commissioner Aker, have you registered your vote? Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes and 1 abstain.
20 yes, 1 abstain. The motion carries. The resolution's adopted. The next item of business is F2C. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2C, Resolution 1702-009, to amend the general county budget by $5,000 to appropriate grant funds received by the Register of Deeds Office. Okay, we have a motion made by Commissioner Bennett to adopt the resolution, seconded by Commissioner Samples. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1702-009. Commissioner Bennett, do you seek the floor? Are the members ready for the question? Motion is to adopt 1702-009. If you're in favor, vote yes. Opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, 0 no. Motion carries. Resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F2D. The chair will stand for motion on item F2D. Resolution 1702-021 to amend the general county budget by $5,000 to appropriate local archive development grant funds for mobile shelving units. Commissioner Carver makes a motion to adopt the resolution. Is there a second? Commissioner Lewis seconds. Motion is to adopt 1702-021. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, motion carries. Resolution is adopted. The next item of business is F2E. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2E. Resolution 1702-010 to amend the general county budget by $34,000 for the clerk and master's office for eGov installation and maintenance. Is there a motion to adopt? Commissioner Kaler moves. Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Carver seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1702-010. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, motion carries. The resolution is adopted. Next item of business is F2F. Chair will stand for motion on item F2F, Resolution 1702-014, to amend the extended daycare program budget by $3,400.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner moves to adopt resolution, and Mr. Lewis, if you'll move, there we go. And Commissioner French seconds. The motion is to adopt 1702-014. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, motion carries. Resolution's adopted. The next item of business is F2G. Chair will stand for a motion on item F2G, Resolution 1702016, to amend the general purpose school budget by $590,000. This is moved by Commissioner Kaler. Second by, let's go with Mr. Stinnett. Commissioner Stinnett. Motion is to adopt Resolution 1702016. Commissioner Archer, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I tried the last couple of days to connect with Mr. Crabtree to ask a couple of questions and was unable to get a hold of him. I was wondering if I could perhaps speak with him at this moment.
If you have a question, Commissioner Archer, I'm sure we can arrange an answer. Come forward, Ms. Crabtree. Ms. Crabtree, if you'll give your name and your position with schools, please.
Yes, I'm Mike Crabtree, Assistant Director of Blount County Schools.
Mr. Archer, Commissioner Archer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm guessing you can look at me and pretty much tell I'm from the old school. And
I wouldn't assume such, Mr. Archer.
and I'm not terribly computer literate, but a few things came to my attention when I was reading through this process. Would we not be wise to start the computers? I know eventually we're going to try to get computers, I think 1 through 12 for all the students. And I think that's a great idea. Only my question would be, aren't we taking away some of the basic fundamental skills that would be given to reading, writing, and arithmetic, and taking the place of those skills with computers at an early age? I would think, would it not make sense to start these personal computers at maybe a later grade, like 7 through 12, and let the kids really learn the writing and skills that they may not have if they get so involved with computers at an early stage?
Yeah, I'll be glad to answer that. One of our tenets of our program is to start with grade 9, like we've done this year. And the way our program is phased in is to implement in grades 3, 6, and 9. The board has chosen to go ahead and make both high schools 1-to-1 next year. So what this request would do is make those upper grades, as you speak of, 1-to-1, grade 6, and grade 3. We do place a high value, a high emphasis, especially on literacy skills in K through 3. That's something that every day when I come in is on my desk. It's something when I go out in the schools that's something that we focus on and talk about. The machines, and is interesting because I had a chance to talk to some parents and some students today who have used Chromebooks in the 9th grade. And anytime you go into our K-5s from kindergarten on up, you'll see electronic devices used. We never talk about using the devices without talking about student learning. And these are tools, and we've placed a heavy emphasis and a lot of resources into training teachers how to use them as instructional tools to teach those basics that you talk about, Mr. Archer. So it's not taking the place of anything. It's only enhancing what we're already doing, improving upon that.
So you feel confident this won't take away from the basic skills of the younger kids?
No, sir. I'm confident that it will not. That's not our intent. You may be like me. I have a couple of grandchildren under 1-4 and 1-2, and they're already skilled and adept at using electronic devices. Mm-hmm. Can play educational games on them probably better than I can. But no, like I say, the focus is on student learning and using these devices as tools to promote that.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Archer? A couple more here, Mr. Chairman. Why is it not logical to get the bids on these computers first before we allocate funds? I know in the past we have we've done it this way because the bidding process is very expensive and very lengthy. And if we don't have the funds allocated, companies won't get into the bidding process. But it seems to me these bids are fairly simple and quick and inexpensive. And so couldn't we get bids first and find out what the cost is and then allocate the money?
Mr. Crabtree, why don't bring Mr. Logan up to address that issue? Mr. Logan, if you'll come forward.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Crabtree. Mr. Logan.
We've probably done it both ways. We're trying to get permission, approval, your approval to move forward with this idea and for this purchase. So we wanted to get that before we start going down the bid process. One of the things we're waiting on is the state of Tennessee is working on a contract with all of the computer companies, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft, Apple, trying to create a leasing contract tool that all the school systems across the state can use to acquire devices for the schools on a lease type arrangement. They have told me that they plan to have that completed and ready to go out by April 5, but I don't know if the state will accomplish that or not. So as a backup, we will begin, if you approve this, we'll begin to work with the county purchasing office to do our own bid for an operating lease arrangement. And then we'll just see, which one has the better pricing when we get there.
Okay. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Commissioner Samples, you're recognized.
I believe I have a question for Mr. Crabtree.
State your question, sir.
I would like to know where we are in the process of getting the schools hooked up to fiber optics. I happen to know fiber optics are in front of several schools, but have yet to be hooked up, and I'm wondering why we're buying Chromebooks when we don't even have the schools hooked up to, and it's available to them.
Mr. Crabtree, go ahead.
Thank you. We just had a discussion with the mayor's office this afternoon about that.
Oh, well, I haven't been privy to that.
Mr. Samples, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's brought to light where the fiber optics run, and we've set up some additional meetings to talk about the feasibility of connecting schools there. If that's something that's advantageous for us, we'll certainly look at that. In our plan, one of the things that we wanted to take care of first was the infrastructure and the best connectivity that we can provide to the schools and to the community. That's what we want to do. So we're investigating that.
Commissioner Samples.
Do you anticipate then having to come back to us for additional money for the fiber optic connection?
That's something that I can't answer at this point. I don't have the information. We're not that far along.
And you don't see it as kind of getting the cart before the horse then?
Mr. Crabtree.
No, sir. No, I don't. The fiber optic option being laid out to us at this date is something that we're very interested in, but our infrastructure is in place right now to take advantage of the Chromebooks that we're looking at adding.
How quickly do you anticipate having the schools hooked up to fiber optics?
Like I say, we need more information before we proceed on that. I really couldn't give you a date.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Crabtree. Commissioner Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a quick question. In my research I've done, it's that the IT support personnel, it takes about one IT person per 40 computers to operate. And I just want to make sure that the school system's prepared and they have the personnel in place to handle that.
Mr. Crabtree, is Mr. Herron here or anyone from IT? Mr. Crabtree, I'll let you address it.
Thank you, and I'll address that as best I can, but one of the things that we've done, Mr. Allen,
Mr.
is...
Crabtree, Mr. Herron's here, so let's let him respond since it's a staffing. Yeah. All right, thank you. I'm sorry. First of all, before I recognize Mr. Herron, Mr. Crabtree, no disrespect, and I've just been informed that you actually, Mr. Herron reports to Mr. Crabtree, so I stand corrected and I apologize.
Before I answer that question, could I back up and answer the last question?
No, we have a question for Mr. Allen, having to
All
do
right.
with staffing.
We will do that. Schools, first of all, we're using Chromebooks, so those numbers are predicated on Windows users. So with Chromebooks, it's a lot easier to manage users per school. The school also has a organizational structure with building level techs, where we have TAs and teachers who serve as building level techs at each school. We've also hired a couple additional personnel in the last year to prepare for this. And at this point in time, we feel like those personnel is sufficient. We may find out a year from now when we have an extra 4,000 that that's not true. But based on our experience this year, that should be sufficient.
Mr. Allen, you're recognized.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you've hired 2 IT personnel and you're dependent upon the teachers to maintain 4,500 new computers.
We have hired 2 additional, plus we have taken 2 people who were teachers, and they are now tech teacher leaders. They are helping the teachers implement the technology, and they are also helping out with repairs and stuff at the high schools. So we've hired 2 additional tech people. We've also have 2 additional teachers that are at our disposal. But yes, some of the troubleshooting is done by teachers.
Mr. Allen, you have the floor.
I just want to say I definitely speak in favor of the technology that we put forth here, but I do warn the school system to be ready because you've got, sounds like 4 IT personnel handling 4,500 new computers. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Thank you, Mr. Herron. Commissioner Caskey, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe in the school system. I believe that those IT people or tech people in the schools are actually trained. They're not just there and then handed a book and say, okay, teach them. I think they're actually trained, if I'm not mistaken. They're not just out there not knowing what they're doing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Pending motion is to adopt resolution 1702-016. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adopting the resolution, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 18 yes votes and 3 no.
18 yes, 3 no. The motion carries. The resolution is adopted. The next item of business would have been F2H, but it was removed when the body set tonight's agenda. So the next item is F2I. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2I, resolution 1702-018, to amend the highway budget by $281,000. Is there a motion? Commissioner Allen. Okay, let's make up our mind. Commissioner Samples moves, and Commissioner Allen seconds. The motion is to adopt resolution 1702-018. Are the members ready for the question? The motion is to adopt 1702-018. If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 18 yes votes and 3 no votes.
18 yes, 3 no. The motion carries. The resolution's adopted. The next item is F2J. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2J, resolution 1702-019, to amend the highway budget by $120,000 for asphalt purchases. Is there a motion? Commissioner Lewis. Commissioner Lewis, seconded by Commissioner French. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1702-019. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to ask approximately how many roads this would pave?
I see that Mr. Hedrick's here. If he'd come forward. And I'm sure that Mr. Hedrick, that would depend on state aid matching also, wouldn't it? You have the
Yes.
floor. You're recognized.
Yes, sir, there are several parameters, but approximately 2.25 miles.
Mr. Commissioner Monroe.
I'm sorry, I didn't fully hear what you said.
Approximately 2.25 miles, but as.
2.25 miles? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. As Mr. Chairman said, that there's a lot of parameters of, what asphalt, the oils cost and so on.
Okay, and roughly how many miles are you planning to pave this year with the amount that you have before this increase?
Mr. Hedrick.
Right now, as we had stated earlier, we're approaching the 30-mile mark.
30?
30
Okay.
miles. Yes,
And
ma'am.
is that a typical year?
No, ma'am.
What does a typical year pave?
Looking in the past, it appears an average was around 16 to 17 miles.
Okay. And you think you'll complete all of that by the end of the year?
Yes, ma'am, hopefully with the help of Mother Nature.
Okay, and that 2.25, did that include state money that he was talking about, or are you talking about just local money?
Just local money.
And do you anticipate that being more with state money?
Actually, right now, as far as state aid money, we have allocated what the state is going to give us, and we've maximized that pretty much as we can.
So you've already used that, or will soon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Actually, we've used 80% of it and waiting on those funds to be returned from the state in that 98-2 money.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hedrick. Are the members ready? Commissioner Akerd, you're recognized on the motion to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a question to follow up with what's been asked. If I understood him correctly, we're nearing the 30-mile mark. Is that correct for this year?
I believe that's what came up in the agenda meeting, Mr. Hedrick, that you've paved approximately twice what was paved last year. Come forward.
So my question is there an urgency with us repaving that much this year for us to increase this budget this much more now if we typically do so many miles per year? Is this request an urgency, or is it just merely we want to pave more?
Mr. Hedrick, I'll let you answer that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. An absolute emergency. We have roads, Commissioner, that we have grass growing up in them. That is not what the taxpayers deserve. They deserve a road that's safe to drive on, and we're not getting that done with the money and the funds that we have. So when you talk about life safety and the conditions of our roads, it's unacceptable, and yes, it needs this asphalt needs to go down. So I would consider it an emergency.
Mr. Akerd.
So that's going to put us in a position to where we don't need this much next year because we took care of it immediately now, or we're going to try to pave another 30 plus miles in our next budget.
Mr. Hedrick, if you'll yield to the chair, how many miles of paving is Blount County behind?
We have 830 miles of road in Blount County that we're charged to keep safe. We're way behind. At least 200-300 miles of that. We've not kept our paving up. Now, we're exhausting every effort, state aid money, which is 98.2. We are now engaging into getting federal money. 80-20, it's not 98.2, but still 20 cents on the dollar, is a great deal for Blount County. So we're in a great need, and it's apparent when you drive these roads like we do, and you go over into East Millers, West Millers, Happy Valley. It's really sad, and that's not what our people deserve. So.
Mr. Aker, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aker. Commissioner Stinnett, you're recognized on the motion to adopt.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hedrick, I thought you was responsible for 350. Did I mishear you?
830 miles.
830?
We're responsible.
Okay. So it's 17 miles a year and divide that into 800. I thought it was 350, and at 350 it takes 20 years. How long does asphalt last?
Not that long. It's according to how you do it, and we're doing it properly. We're not just cracking the sand, so to speak. On an average, you'll get 7, 8, 9 years, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Of wear according to weather conditions.
Mr. Stinnett, you're recognized. Go ahead.
If we go back to 89, when we was doing 50 miles a year because we had more money.
Yes, sir.
So 50 into 850, and do the math there, you're talking about 12 years or so. Every square inch of asphalt in this county was repaved. So we need to be paving at least 50 miles a year to enable you to keep fresh asphalt on all the square inches of asphalt in this community. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie. So Commissioner Monroe, Commissioner Caskey, I'll recognize him. He hasn't spoken to the motion. Commissioner Caskey, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering, do we know what has happened to the cost of materials over the past couple of years? Has it gone down? I'm sure it hasn't gone down.
Mr. Hedrick?
At one point they did, because it's based on petroleum, but all of that material is beginning to increase back up. So it's not like it was a year or two ago as petroleum had dropped.
Mr. Caskey?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there any way to estimate what it will be, say, budget time or next year? Are you taking that into consideration as you put together your budget?
Mr. Hedrick, go ahead.
Absolutely. And what we're doing is trying to put together a 3-year and a 5-year plan and identifying roads from the worst there is on down. But we have to have a plan set forward for specific dollar amounts and those roads that we need to start on all across the county. And when you look at it, it's not isolated to one end of the county or the other. It's pretty widespread. And we've tracked what we've done the last 9 months, and it's all across the county that we're trying to bring back up to acceptance.
Mr. Caskey?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just responding to Mr. Stinnett. He was talking about, and I know from traveling around my district out there, and Mr. Powers and I travel around, and we need to be doing more, and we're hoping that you're coming with a plan, and it sounds like you're putting together a plan to address those concerns, not only in District 8, but all districts across the county. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized for the second time on the motion to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This may be a question better suited for Mr. Vineyard, and I should have asked it the other day when we were voting on the truck as well. Do these amendments affect the maintenance of effort for the Highway Department, or is the maintenance of effort solely based on the adopted budget at the beginning of the fiscal year?
Mr. Vineyard, let's let Mr. Vineyard answer the MOE question.
Maintenance of effort for the Highway Department's not affected by these amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Vineyard.
Okay.
Commissioner Monroe, you have the floor.
Thank you. Do you have a plan in place based upon road wear? Do you look at it based upon the condition of the road or the number of cars traveling on the road per day? What formula do you use to determine the most critical roads?
It is based on traffic. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
That's okay, go ahead.
It is based on traffic. We look at width. You know, right now our standards is 18 feet. We have several roads that are under that. And so, you know, we're working on right-of-way, acquiring to widen roads. And not only just paving them to be safe, striping them. And yes, I can supply documents. We make work orders every day. Many of you commissioners have been a big help in every district. Yours, to Mr. French's, to all over of needs that need to be met, needs that have been just forgotten. And so we're trying to go back and catch those things that we have obligated to. But daily identifying roads, and I can give you a pretty good stack of paperwork that we call our work orders that we sit down at 6 o'clock every morning with every superintendent and go through the triage effort. You know, we're starting right now, so.
Okay, thank you. The TDOT, TDOT puts out where they're going to be working in the area. They'll put out I don't know if it's a quarterly report or
Yes.
how often they put it.
Yes.
Could you possibly send us a list of roads you intend to pave? Just give us an annual list of roads you hope to pave during the year so we can see that?
Mr. Edrick,
Yes, ma'am. We could give you quite a bit
Okay.
tomorrow. That's how diligently we're trying to address the road issues of Blount County.
Okay, I'd love to see that if you all would please send me
Absolutely.
roads you're intending to pave soon. Thank you.
anyone else? Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adopting Resolution 1702-019, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, 0 no. Motion carries. Resolution is adopted. The next item of business is F2K. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2K. Resolution 1702-022 to amend the general county budget by $71,500. Is there a motion?
I make the motion to approve.
Commissioner Carver moves to adopt. Commissioner Stinnett seconds. The motion is to adopt 1702-022. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized. Just a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In light of what the city of Alcoa just passed, I would like to know if that will affect this memorandum of understanding, and if so, how?
The pending motion is is the amendment of the county budget. The memorandum of understanding is Resolution 20023.
Okay. And that's the ETHRA, right?
Correct.
Okay, and we just saw that Alcoa adopted it with a slight change, and I was just wondering if that would affect our agreement with them in any way. Okay,
Once
thank you.
we get the memorandum of understanding, I'm sure that will be addressed.
Okay, so you're bringing that up, okay.
Pending motion is to adopt Resolution 17-02022. If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes and 1 no vote.
20 yes, 1 no. The motion carries. Resolution is adopted. The next item of business is F2L. Chair will stand for a motion on item F2L, Resolution 17-02023, to approve an intergovernmental memorandum of understanding. Sir. Commissioner Caskey moves to adopt the resolution. Is that correct, Commissioner Caskey? Yes, Mr. Chairman. Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Kaler seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 17-02023, which is an intergovernmental memorandum of understanding. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed to adoption, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes and 1 no vote.
20 yes, 1 no. The motion carries. The resolution's adopted. The next item of business is F2M. The chair will stand for a motion on item F2M. Resolution 17-02020 to amend the general county budget by consolidating 2 departments of Blount County government. Commissioner Allen moves to adopt the resolution, and Commissioner Samples seconds. The motion is to adopt 17-02020. Are you on the floor? You're on the floor on the agenda. Now you're on the floor. Request to speak. Commissioner Monroe, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just reading the memo from the mayor, and I was wondering, with the consolidation of the departments, are there any less employees now that those 2 departments have been consolidated?
Mr. Mayor, you're recognized.
No.
Commissioner Monroe.
Okay, thank you.
Pending motion is to adopt 17-02020. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed to adoption, vote no. If we could hold the vote for just a moment. Announce the vote, please, clerk.
Mr. Chairman, there are 20 yes votes.
And 1 not voting.
1 present not voting.
Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. The next item of business is item F3A. The chair will stand for a motion on item F3A, Resolution 17-02013. to authorize the settlement of all claims brought by Harold Inman for the sum of $95,000. Commissioner Samples moves. And Commissioner Bauer seconds. The motion is to adopt Resolution 1702-1013. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering if we know what the exact legal cost for legal fees was for this settlement. I'd asked for the documents in total some while back, and I haven't been provided anything. Just wondering if we could be given the total cost.
Mr. Vineyard, do you have any input on that? No.
Okay, thank you.
Are the members ready for the question? The pending motion is to adopt Resolution 1702-013. If you're in favor of adoption, vote yes. If you're opposed, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, 0 no. The motion carries. Resolution's adopted. The next item of business is F3B. The chair will stand for a motion on item F3B to approve the annual adjustments for the financial assurance agreements for the Alcoa Maryville Blount County landfill. Commissioner Bennett, you're recognized.
I'd like to move to approve these annual adjustments as set forth in this resolution.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bennett. Push your motion button, Commissioner Bennett. Seconded by Commissioner Stinnett. The motion is to approve the annual adjustments as set forth under agenda item 3B. Are the members ready for the question? If you're in favor of approving the adjustments, vote yes. If you're opposed to approving the adjustments, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 21 yes votes.
21 yes, motion carries. The annual adjustments are approved. Item G, statements and announcements. Commissioner Monroe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just wondering, for future agendas, would it be possible to include the resolution number next to the title? Would that be possible with the software?
It should be. It's on all the agenda items.
Not the resolution numbers. There's agenda item numbers, but not the resolution
We'll
numbers.
try.
Huh.
We'll try.
Clerk
Right.
says they will make every effort.
Okay, thank you.
We will do our best.
Thank you.
Ms. Pitts, can we share the microphone, Mr. Vineyard, with Ms. Pitts? She has an announcement about the March meeting. Immediately prior to the March meeting, we were going to have what? You go ahead and announce the photograph for the...
Yes, we'd like to make a new group picture of the commission, and if there's anyone who's not going to be able to be here, just let us know, but we can do that probably.
Immediately prior to the meeting.
Yes.
It will be for the new web page. The web page for the county is going to change in April, I think in April or early May, and we need a new photograph, so just be aware in the March meeting, whatever you want to wear is fine, but just be aware that there's going to be a group photograph made. Thank you, Ms. Pitts. Thank you, Mr. Vineyard. Anyone else have an announcement, statement? It's full commission meeting, excuse me. Next item of business is item H, public input on items not on the agenda. Come forward, sir.
James Hammondtree, District 2. Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. My concern is when the votes are displayed up on the screen, there are 5 people that don't show up. So the 5 people, I don't know how they vote. Okay, thank you.
I was unaware of that. Thank you, thank you for pointing it out, Mr. Hammertree. Anyone else? Next item on the agenda is adjournment. Without objection, this meeting is adjourned.